going to do a film breakdown, video analysis, three things that stood out from the Browns' loss 23-9 to the Steelers. Number one on your list, they lost the physical battle up front in the run game. You can say that on both sides of the ball, really.
Yeah, they lost. They got out physical. So I'm going to go through each player here. You're going to see Livingston get handled by with J.J. Watt, and then I rewound this because it's interesting. So now you're going to see right tackle. He's going to get straightened out by Harmon. You can see Harmon's right arm as he kind of goes there. You can see his right arm. Then you see Posick. Posick is a guy, the center, who gets handled by Benton. Then you're going to see Petonio, who's really, really solid. He doesn't do a good job of getting to Queen. Then you see the backside tackle, Robinson, who's going to get, I'd say he's going to keep contained and then get rid of him. And then you're going to see Fanning come across. He's the cut on this zone play, and he just does a tremendous, awful job here of cutting Hayward. So all those guys missed. So on this run play alone, 6 of 7 guys missed. Wyatt Teller, the right guard, is the only guy that won, and he won because he was blocking a defensive back. So what they got to do moving forward is first they have to get more physical. The Steelers out-physicaled them. Now, you can get outplayed. Sometimes teams are better. But physicality is usually, especially at this NFL level, is a matter of 1-2. And this was really disappointing in this run game. As you can see, this is not one guy. You can see the entire defensive line collapses that inside zone. Judkins has nowhere to go. So they got to fix this. They got to address this. And these guys got to take a little pride in the run game. This is where they lost. They lost physically in the trenches.
Yeah, and for the second year in a row, we're talking about an offensive line that there's no answers. Last year it was the same thing. It was, Callahan left. Well, we have a disciple of Callahan now, and it's not any better. So the line play on the offensive side of the ball has been really bad for a second straight year. The other thing that you have is your second point, communication issues. And you point out there's new starters both sides of the ball.
We're going to show you one here right here. This is with the new Campbell, the new starter. So Campbell has 1 strong, and Hickman has 2 strong. When you go in motion, they switch roles. And what ends up happening is that Hickman's supposed to pick up 2, but 2 was once 1. That's why you see those short little motions. And with man coverage, you have to switch. So there's number 1. There's number 2. Hickman has 2 as he goes in motion. Now that's Hickman's guy. Hickman doesn't pick him up. Campbell does. So everybody, now this is very much what happens. You see Campbell takes the underneath route and Hickman doesn't pick that up. Now I'm not blaming anyone. What that really for me is that's the lack of communication that these guys have had, just because this guy Campbell came in this week and was his hit call to tell Hickman? Was Hickman supposed to tell him? This is not blaming anybody. This is Hickman's guy, but this is not a blame necessarily blaming Hickman. This is the fact that they have a new corner that they brought in midweek. You see this with the offensive line, guys running free, things you never saw with Callahan. Things that are happening because of miscommunication, because new guys are in there, whether it be from injury or trade, whatever it is. But if you're in compact schemes, which they are, this is what happens. This is a simple, basically we say, I got yours, you got mine, because that little motion switched who was 1 strong and 2 strong. They didn't communicate. In the first play of the game, you get a huge play from the Steelers.
So what you're telling me is the Browns defensive backs didn't know there was going to be math on the test, so they weren't ready for the math.
Yeah, they didn't math the math questions. That's exactly what happened. So, and what ends up happening is that, I've been asked, what are all these little motions for that you see on the NFL? This is exactly why they run these motions. It's a numbers game, and there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 strong on every play. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 weak on every play. And if you're a man coverage team, that's what happens. Now, when you bump from safety to corner to safety, sometimes you get those things, and that's what happened there. You're absolutely right. They did not do the math on the math problem.
All right. The third takeaway from that loss to the Steelers, lack of movement again. They miss opportunities and in pass protection as well.
So you're going to see here, it's just that they start off at 13 personnel, right? So they got the personnel they want on the game. You can see the Steelers are going to stop the run. Then they're going to motion out. So now they got what they want. Now they have people out in space. The linebacker goes out with the running back. Judkins out on the left side. Now they got a matchup with Njoku on Queen. So as Njoku comes through here, Queen doesn't carry number 3. Njoku, I point out, is number 3. He does not carry him. You can see him come wide open. And this is a miss. Now, this is a miss on protection, but this is also a miss on Gabriel. Now, you see from the end zone copy, you're going to get a little better look. So they bump out. Now this is why you run 13 personnel. Now they're all mixed up. The defense doesn't know what to do. You're going to see Njoku is covered by Queen. They're going to drop their outside linebacker in the middle of the field, but Queen is the guy who's in charge of him. As he goes, he's left. And right now, Gabriel's got to do a better job of stepping up to his left, staying in the pocket, because this protection's not great, but this protection's not terrible either. This is pocket awareness. This is your type of thing. So this is like a fault by many. This is offensive line, Conklin getting pushed back a little bit. This is also Gabriel not stepping up, working to his left here in the pocket. This is a clean NFL pocket, even though he has to move a little bit. If you think about Tom Brady, and I'll age myself here, Dan Marino, this is this pocket movement everybody talks about, or pocket awareness. And this is what the Browns have really struggled with. And as you watch this play, I want you to see Gabriel, and I want you to see what I circle. This is what he's got to feel, this pressure, knowing that Watt is on that side. So if he knows Watt's on that side, he's got to take this drop and simply move 2 steps to his left. And if he moves 2 steps to his left, I think he'll see Njoku. Right there's the opening, 2 steps, and he'd have it. This is what the Browns are continuously struggling with.
Yeah, and you saw those kind of things like that second level a couple of times in the Steelers game in particular, where he went to a guy underneath, and if he goes to the guy over top, it's a significantly better gain.
Well, you know, it's one of those things as a quarterback coach and as an offensive coordinator at the high school level, and it's the same for all levels. You never turn down a free meal, and you never turn down that underneath stuff. But as you continuously take that underneath stuff, those defenders are going to take away that initial meal. So you got to start working more. You got to work towards the next level, and that's where he's at now. Unfortunately, the criticism that he receives, the criticism that Shedeur Sanders receives, these kids just got to play a little bit. With this guy, I think he'll adjust. These are things that I think Sanders can do. Both of these guys have talent. They're going to need time. But do you give these time just because you want to develop them? Then how do you tell Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, hey, we're going to develop these guys? Because if you develop those guys, the coaches who are developing won't be around very long. So this is a very tough situation for the Browns. Once again, they gotta close those doors, and they gotta get to work, and they gotta figure it out. No one cares how bad they are right now. Everything that everybody's saying about the Dolphins are saying the same things about them. So this is a must-win this Sunday afternoon for the Cleveland Browns.